Hey, oh, Christmas mystery cleaning windows on the Fylde coast. Another weekend is upon us. So, yeah, no one died, no casualties, happy days, we move on. So I wanted to put another video in today and talk a bit about power dynamic between customer and contractor, okay? There are people, very, very sadly, on this earth who will try and use their perceived power and influence, if you like, to sort of almost get you to agree to a set of conditions, if you like, and then upend everything and change things just because they can. And it gives them that little kick, that little satisfaction that if they're going to be miserable, they're going to make someone else miserable as well. So in order to sort of paint you a picture, if you like, of this little mini saga that we've got going on at the minute, I would sort of give you a bit of a background as to sort of this little situation that's developed this week in my company, in my business even. So basically what's happened is that I'm good friends with a guy called George, who runs an exterior cleaning company in the northwest. They tend to specialise mainly in steam cleaning roofs, jet washing, etc., chewing gum removal, vandalism, and all that. Getting all paint and stuff off walls, etc., with steam cleaning. And they don't do things like window cleaning because they don't have the time, patience, inclination, or more crucially, the equipment to carry out that job. That's where I come in. So we were put in touch with each other by a mutual friend, and it seemed that I could fulfil a need. A weak point in his business and him in mine. Being a window cleaner and doing exterior cleaning, etc. I get asked all the time, oh, do you do roof cleaning? Do you do this? Do you do that? Do you do the other? And if I don't do it, if I didn't do it and then didn't know George, then chances are what would happen is I would forego this kind of work, etc. But what tends to happen is if any of my customers ask me if we do steam cleaning on roofs, etc., and all this sort of good stuff, I will refer George onto them. He will do a quote, etc. And yeah, so at least he gets some work out of it. Happy days. But and vice versa, if obviously he's working on a big property where there is a lot of glass, etc., yes, he can use some of his equipment, if you like, to do the job, as he says. But if he wants to do a proper job where it's like internal window cleaning, all that sort of good stuff, or even balconies, exterior glass and all that sort of good stuff, then really the reach and wash system that we've got is ideal for that kind of thing. And that fulfills a need, if you like, a little area in his business which he doesn't really specialize in. So we've basically both got this, we've both had this building contractor get in touch with us, or get in touch with George, should I say. And they wanted exterior window cleaning doing. That's my bag, happy days. And they also wanted internal sparkle cleans. That is to say, taking it from being a building site back to being able to hand that back to the owner, so that they can then rent that out and put tenants in it, etc. So yeah, basically what happened is that this contractor, stated their demands, happy days, what they were looking for. And George then went through an itemized list and came up with a quote, gave them the quote, and all was well with the world. At least we thought it was. Then basically what happened is, within short order, this contractor then got in touch and said, oh, by the way, the three killer words, yeah, that put pay to most sort of any business owner will hear, by the way. And they'll go, oh, great, nice one. Yeah, by the way, all of your contractors that work inside the building need to have these half-moon COVID masks. Now, bearing in mind, we are now, as of today's date, okay, it's the 29th of April. In the United Kingdom, COVID is no longer really high on the list of priorities, i.e. you don't have to wear masks, all this sort of good stuff. But this contractor wants everybody to wear a half-moon mask, etc. Let me know in the comment section if any of the building sites or anywhere that you work demands that you still wear a face mask. I'll be extremely interested to hear about that. But anyway, these masks, to be fitted properly, have to be fitted properly, professionally. And as I understand it, George was telling me, each of these masks cost £40, right? Now, he had 5 contractors that were going to do all these sparkle cleans and get all these houses done in one day. We automatically put £200 on the price of a quote. But they neglected to mention that right up until the last minute. George, understandably, has gone, this isn't workable. You've dropped this on us last minute. We're out. We can't go through with this. You know, it's not feasible. It's not going to work. So yeah, basically, George then came to me, approached me, and said, "Listen, Chris, your share, if you like, for doing the exterior window cleaner, I quoted as that. So if you still want to do it, you go in and you give your quote, etc., to this guy, to the manager of the site, etc., and you can carry on. You can still work. Better that one of us gets something out of it, if nothing else. Fine, no dramas." So I thought. So my price to do the exterior window cleaning, bear in mind, it's taking it back from being a building site back to serviceable condition, right, and PVC restoration and all that sort of stuff. There were 6 houses. So I said, right, well, I want £25 a house, £150, thanks very much, okay? So having put my price in, and then submitted all my paperwork, COSH, risk assessment, all this sort of good stuff, I've then done the house, these 6 houses, and I've been paid for them. Fantastic, happy with that. They were so happy, so I thought, that they wanted me to then book in for another 4 dates to clean these other houses on the same site that were being released in stages at a later date. And basically what's happened is that we've had these dates booked in advance now for around about 3 weeks. These have been booked in for, going out as far as September, okay? And the manager, made me, ultimately, he asked me that if, the dates these buildings are being handed over are on these dates, we need you in on these days, the following dates, to complete the clean, ready for handovers. So I was like, right, okay, fine. You want them done for a certain date, not a problem. I then cleared that room in the diary because, to be fair, I thought I was trying to be helpful, etc. I put them in the diary. A week went by. "Oh, Chris, we need to change to one of these dates." And I was like, right, okay. Can you move it to this date? And I said, well, quite frankly, no, not at this stage. They gave me, literally, they wanted me to do them next week. And I was like, well, I've already got work booked in. And obviously, this point in the calendar now, sort of April, May, we're going to start getting more sort of schools involved, etc. And there are some schools already booked in, and they pay a damn sight more than these building site cleans do. So quite frankly, they're not getting moved around for anybody. I basically said, right, well, that's not, I can't do that on those dates. And at this point then, the manager was said, right, well, I'm going to find someone else then to do that day. Can you still, we need to move another one of these dates. And at this point, I've kind of realised that, initially, you can be forgiven for thinking you've had a bit of a fastball. Your boss has turned around to you and said, right, I don't care what I've said to you before, I need to change it. You can kind of forgive that, not a problem, once or twice. But then this is becoming now a recurring theme now, where they will have work booked in months and months in advance, and then turn around to you, lastminute.com, and say, oh, actually, by the way, and all this sort of good stuff. So this to-ing and fro-ing took place, where the dates were being moved all over the calendar and all this sort of good stuff. Oh, I'm really sorry, Chris, and blah, blah, and all this sort of stuff. And I just got to the point where I was a bit like, well, I'm sorry, you can't keep moving things around the board for me. You asked me when I'm available, I've told you. And as far as I'm concerned, and I did mention this at the very beginning, if you tell me you want it in on that day, cool, I'll put you in on that day. But as far as I'm concerned, that's written in stone. That's you've told me when, the buildings are available and there's no one else on site, etc., and I'm free to go in there and do my funky thing. Happy days. But as far as I'm concerned, that's set in stone. Yeah, fine, no dramas, he says. Well, now you've moved the dates 4 times now, and it's getting to the point now where I'm closing off a portion of my diary to dedicate. I can't carry out work in that, as far as I'm concerned, in that diary, because it's blocked out, because you want me to come and do your service for you. And 4 times, you know, 4 times this has happened now, where the dates have been changed, etc. I'm gonna have to refuse the work. I'm really sorry. I said we can't operate like this, because the money that I'm losing by blocking out those days, you know, it's not worth doing. So, and it's interesting because the response you get from some of these people can be, you know, quite antagonistic, to be honest with you. They get a bit like, whoa, blah blah, and I thought you were reliable, I thought you X, Y and Z and all this sort of stuff. You know, this is not what reliable businesses do. You know, and I was a bit surprised, to be honest with you, but I just came back to him and said, listen, reliable businesses don't make an appointment, don't book work in, and then say, oh, by the way, yeah, to do it once is bad enough, you've done it 4 times. So I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. You know, reliability, and I've said this in previous videos, reliability is a double-edged sword, and it swings in 2 directions. Yeah, the contractor that you're working for, or you're subbing for, if you like, doing work for this building contractor, you know, is in no position to demand that you be reliable if they keep changing the dates, you know, or chasing around the diary, etc. You know, if they want reliability, then then really they should act reliable when it comes to dealing with you, and make sure that this relationship is not a 2-way exchange. It's not all one way. So yeah, basically, just be careful when it comes to dealing with companies that you know, overestimate their worth and you know, seem to think it's acceptable to sort of push you around because either they are not organised enough, or because they deem what you do as less than worthy. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to let that ruin my day. Lovely day, sunny. So, you know, weekends here, etc. I'm going to enjoy the sun, spend some time with the family, etc. And I strongly recommend you guys do the same. Okay, so I'm going to bring that. You know, I'm going to end the video here. Have a great weekend, all. Keep on keeping on. I'll see you in the next one. All the very best.